about the plant response to the greenhouse environment. First is ventilation. Air temperature when above 35 degrees centigrade generally not suited for the crop in greenhouse. It is quite possible to bring greenhouse air temperature below this upper limit during spring and autumn season simply by providing adequate ventilation to the greenhouse. The ventilation in a greenhouse can either by natural or by forced. In case of a small greenhouse less than 6 meter wide, natural ventilation can be quite effective during spring and autumn season. However, fan ventilation is essential to have a precise control over the air temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide level. Carbon dioxide. About 40% of the dry matter of the plant compose carbon dioxide. Under normal condition, CO2 exits the gas in the atmosphere slightly over 0.03% or 345 ppm. When photosynthesis occurs under natural light, plant in a greenhouse draw down level CO2 below 200 ppm. Under these circumstances, infiltration or ventilation increase carbon dioxide level. When the outside air brought in the maintain the ambient level of CO2. If the CO2 level less than ambient level, CO2 may retard the plant growth. In cold climate, maintain ambient level of CO2 providing ventilation may be uneconomical due to the necessity of heating the incoming air in order to maintain proper growing temperature. Most crop will respond favorably CO2 1000 to 1200 ppm. Planning and designing of greenhouse. The agriculture control environment is possible in all regions irrespective to control the weather. This is an enclosed structure of growing plant. Greenhouse must admit the visible light portion solar radiation for the plant photosynthesis. Therefore, must be transparent at the same time to protect plant. Greenhouse must be ventilated or cooled during heat load from the radiation. The structure must also heated, insulated during cold night. A greenhouse acts as a barrier between plant production area and the external or in the general environment. First is the site selection and orientation. Second is the structural design. Third is the covering material. Site selection. The building should be a label as a possible to reduce the cost of grading, and the site should be the aerated, should be receive good solar radiation. Provision of a drainage system always possible. It is always advisable to select a site with natural wind breakers. In region where snow expected, tree should be 30.5 meter away from to order kept the drift back from the greenhouse. To prevent shadow on crop, trees located the east, south or west side should be distance of 2.5 meter of their heights. Structural design. It is the important greenhouse. The structural part of can cause shadow of the greenhouse should be minimized. A different structural design greenhouse based on the type of frames are available. A straight side wall and arch roof possible most common shape for a greenhouse. But gable roof is also widely used. Both structure can be freestanding, gutter connected with the arch of greenhouse. The arch of roof of style greenhouse most often galvanized iron pipe. If tall growing crops are grown in greenhouse, when benches are used, it best to the straight side wall structure rather than a hoop style house in the best operational use of greenhouse. Covering material and their lifespan. The following factor must be considered as selecting greenhouse covering material: light transmission, weight resistant, impact and durability to outdoor weathering, thermal stability or wide range of the temperature. Before selecting covering material, two important points should be taken into the consideration to the purpose of greenhouse facility is intended and service life of the material. But in the temperate region, the high temperature required in the covering material, high light transmission for infrared absorption must be selected as the loss of heat by the conduction minimum. Glass and acrylic sheet, the life of covering material. First one is the glass of and acrylic sheet 20 years, polycarbonated fiberglass reinforced polyester sheet 5 to 12 years, polyethylene 2 to 6 months, Uh, Polyethylene stabilize UV rays 2 to 3 months. Covering materials. The ideal selective covering material should be following purpose. It should be the visible light portion solar radiation which is utilized by photosynthesis. It should absorb a small amount of UV in the radiation, convert a portion of the fluorescence and visible light useful for plant. It should be absorb IR radiation which is not useful plant to the which greenhouse interior are overheated. Should be minimum card. It should be usable life of 10 to 20 years. Design criteria. It should have active summer cooling system, fan fed cooling system, conventional cooling system, horizontal airflow, greenhouse ventilation, natural ventilation, roll up passive ventilation, polyhouse, force microporous, microprocessor, computer fog system, and active heating and cooling system.